Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the Pretty Rich Teacher podcast. I'm so excited to chat with y'all today. I'm drinking my little Pellegrino with a straw to make sure the lips are still moisturized and cute. My lip gloss. But anyway, welcome. We have a great episode today. We're going to talk about how to invest thousands in your new career on a teacher's salary. This is the question I get asked at least every day. How do you expect me to pay thousands of dollars on a teacher's salary? I am broke. I don't have the money. I don't even have the money to pay my own bills. How do I have the money to invest in a program? Girl, where the money at? Do you know teachers are barely getting paid? Why are you charging teachers? Okay? Why are you charging teachers? Why are you taking advantage of teachers? Okay? We're gonna call it out. Because guess what? I'm ready. And I am excited about it. So I'm going to talk about how to actually invest on a teacher's salaries. You all have heard, I don't know if this is your first episode, but I'm going to really walk you through it. My goal is, my mission is teachers making money. $1 million. I have already generated $1 million in teacher raises. So I have worked with over 100 clients. And just from the top of the dome of this past 6 months to a year, there's 30 of them in my head that have made money. Okay. It only takes 10 people to make six figures to be $1 million. So, like, I know it's over, but I know I could at least say 1 million for this past year and 6 months. And I'm not stopping. My goal is to have as many teachers making as much money as possible for as long as I live. My legacy is teachers making money. Women in education specifically, the teacher girlies, I want y'all making money. And one of the things that stopped us from making the money is our mindset, our money mindset. And that's just what this episode is. It's not a episode to eat y'all up or to tell you why you should work with me. I actually want to get it straight. Like for me, I am not expecting anybody to work with me. The girlies who get it, get it. I am someone, and just to kind of give you background about my teaching background, like I also had a teaching salary. Like I was a teacher for 8 years. I was an administrator, a school administrator making $55,000 a year um, as a school administrator. So I was low paid. Again, I like to give that caveat before people eat me up on the internet, and they can eat me up. I hope I taste delicious if y'all want to eat me up. I was there in your shoes. I talk about even like, I know that money is a thing, but what if I told you, like, it's mindset? The mind makes the money, and I really wanna walk you through exactly what to do if you really don't have the money, how you can still invest in it on a teacher salary, okay? And y'all know if y'all ever see me look into this side, I have my notes to make sure I stay on track because y'all know I got the ADHD. So I stay on track as much as I can. So let's talk about it. Number one, again, I hear this all the time. I don't have any money. I'm broke. Number one, I really want, if y'all have not listened to my rich teacher, poor teacher, I'm gonna find the episode right now. I want y'all to listen to that because really, I don't know if y'all ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but Rich Teacher, Poor Teacher, that podcast episode really help break down the mindset that a lot of teachers have. And if you are a teacher who wants to make more money, we have to work on that, our mindset when it comes to how we address money. Even me, like, so if you all know, I had a money coach for a year, one on one coaching. And I learned a lot about money. I learned about how to manage it effectively. Like, I managed money all my years. I was 32 when I worked with her. So I've been managing it effectively. But like for me, I intentionally wanted to be able to one get support in running my business, being able to have my business pay me, me being able to navigate leaving my marriage where my bills tripled times three. I wanted support in being able to manage my money as well as I wanted to scale my business and scaling my business. And I wanted to be able to have the money lessons that I never taught. So I grew up middle class. I think every teacher is a middle class. But I know some teachers make less money. But I want y'all to kind of like know my money story that, I was a teacher on a teacher salary. Like that was my salary. I think my first salary was $37,000 my first year, 40,000, and then I think I was making like 45, 47,000 for years. And then again, my last year in 2022, I was making $55,000 a year. Now I make over $100,000. So like I learned this term called a career portfolio. I don't just do one thing. So my business is my main thing, but I also still contract and corporate. And there are a lot of ways that I make money. Last year, my business did $250,000. And I don't share that to brag. I'm just sharing this with you. Like, I know how to make money. It's one of my favorite things. Like, I love making money. I really do. And I have to remind myself of that anytime I kind of have my own core mindset thoughts come up that I know how to make money. I know how to sell. Like, I really remind myself of those things. The episode I want y'all to listen to is, as soon as I find it, I will tell y'all. Rich teacher, poor teacher. But yeah, I really want y'all to go listen to that episode because it's a mindset. So in the Rich Dad Poor Dad, it talks about the mindsets of people who make money and who don't. And I really want you all to listen to that. Episode 57. 57. Rich teacher, poor teacher, the mindset difference between being underpaid or paid well. Okay. As someone who gets paid well, as someone who used to be a teacher, I feel like there's nobody really teaching teachers how to spend their money so that way they can make more. I think the standard thing that happens now with teachers is that you all right now, you spend, so here's what you all are already spending time and money doing. You're spending money on degrees. You all, just like me, I invested over $100,000 in degrees that I thought would pay me six figures. And the only job that really was going to pay me six figures was becoming a principal or superintendent. And I had my eyes set on that. So I always was someone who was looking to move up and make more money. I will give y'all that mindset. But I want y'all to know if you don't have that mindset, feel free to like challenge your current mindset and ask yourself if you have a rich mindset or a poor mindset. Okay, but really go back and listen to episode 57 to really let this episode land because I'm going to be giving more tactical things of how to invest. But yeah, number one, y'all are already investing money in degrees. Y'all invest $40,000 plus on degrees. Some of y'all, you have your degrees paid for. Either way, y'all have either you're spending money on degrees or you are having reasons why you don't spend money on things, but it still brings you to this podcast. It brings you to the idea of wanting to make more money. Okay. And the reality is like you all like with the degrees, the ROI, the math isn't math. I did not make six figures until I learned six-figure skills. I did not make money until I learned to change my mindset on money, okay? Um, Anytime I've ever tried to save money, and I'm not talking about like I don't throw money on things, and some things I do, but I am not someone who frivolously spends money anymore, especially after working with my money coach. I don't frivolously spend money. I don't overspend anymore. I've like worked on that because I did, ain't gonna lie. When I made more money, y'all, I was like, oh, I got money, let me spend it. But I have healed and I still have my money coach. I still work with her to work on my money mindset. But my goal is for the end of this episode for you to really have a mindset of a teacher who's going to make six figures and beyond. Okay, that is my mission to have as many women in education making money. So I want to say all of that to really let everything I land. But that's one thing. Y'all are investing in degrees, and y'all, the honest truth is that degrees don't get you paid. They don't. People glorify you getting degrees. You all go to your graduations. And again, this was me too. I had to help graduation shoot for my degree, but all I have is my degree frame. And I am a doctor. I do have my doctorate. Hi, Dr. Jasmine. Dr. Jasmine. I do have my doctorate. But I be forgetting I'm a doctor sometimes, y'all. But like I have all my degrees from someone who has all of my degrees. The degrees did not really help me make money. If anything, the transferable skill that I got from me completing my degrees is that I'm able to complete hard things. I'm able to do challenging things. Getting a bachelor's degree is no easy feat. Getting a master's degree is no easy feat. Getting a doctorate degree is absolutely not easy, but I did it. So if you have all your degrees did not go to waste because you still have the ability to learn a new career without having to get another degree. That's one thing. But the ROI, return on investment on degrees aren't there. So like the first thought when people say, oh my gosh, that's right, my program is $4,000. And some people are like, oh my gosh, that's expensive. And it's okay like to think that, right? Like when I first got out of the classroom, there were programs and different things that I wanted to do. I'm like, oh, like I've told y'all about my fashion stylist. I had a consultation with her when I was in, I still working my admin job. I don't even think I was an administrator. I think I was an instructional coach where I definitely was on teacher salary. So like people could say you had no business booking that call with her because her rate was at minimum, I think it was $200 an hour. And I was like, girl, I stay after school and make $200 for the whole 2 weeks. Like I remember telling her, I was like, yeah, like, ma'am, I will come back to you when I have the money. So I didn't have it. But I never stopped working on the skills for me to make the money to get her. And I'm gonna go over it because she's on my stylist now and I love her. I'm so excited. The thing is, if you're spending money on degrees that don't give you the ROI, and then also every year, Imma keep saying that as many times until people get mad at me on the internet. Being underpaid is a choice, and every year you get paid the amount of money that you make is a choice, and you are like, I don't wanna say you're losing money, but you are not making the money that you should be making, especially if you make under $100,000. If you're making under $100,000 as a teacher, you are losing money because you are quite literally doing six-figure skills. You should be getting paid for it. Okay. Now, again, there is strategy, there's mindset, there's all those things. That's my podcast. Like I have episodes on that, but this is really going to help you be able to invest in, if not me, whatever you need to do. Cause like, even if you don't invest in my program or a program, I do recommend everyone get a coach, but if a lot of teachers don't even have personal laptops, you are going to need a personal laptop. You cannot keep working on your school laptop when you work in corporate. You cannot work on your corporate laptop. You need to get your own personal laptop. Okay. And that's going to run you a good stack or maybe less, but you're going to spend money either way. You all spend money on other things. You all spend money on vacations. The thing is, I'm trying to get you to be able to always have the money to spend on vacations. But number one, every year you get paid under $100,000, you are losing money. You can be making more. Now, again, I know y'all like, oh, I don't know how to get the jobs. That's what I help. That's literally what I do. That's what I do for a living. The way I pay for my vacations, the way I pay my bills is by helping teachers make six figures. Okay. So any time you spend making under 100K, even if you're making 100K, if you're making 100K as a teacher and you don't have your weekends for free, you don't get to still like be able to like live your life. Like you are not living life. You should be making $100,000 doing 50% less work than what you're doing. 50% less work. Even with me being an entrepreneur, like I have a friend who I tell the story often. She runs a nonprofit that run like millions of dollars through her nonprofit. Me and her, we're both business owners, both former teachers, and we say that teaching is harder. Teaching is so much more work. I did a podcast episode with another career coach. She lives in the UK and she works for teachers to leave the classroom as well. And she actually had an epiphany. She's like, wow, like corporate is easy. Okay. Corporate is easier than entrepreneurship because corporate has a set of rules. And I think it's what the teaching, like, but from corporate and entrepreneurship is a little more challenging than corporate. But teaching is harder than entrepreneurship and corporate. Teaching is harder than entrepreneurship and corporate. And all the skills that you have as a teacher, they transfer really well in both of those sectors, entrepreneurship and corporate. But every year you're not making $100,000, you're losing money. And the time. For me, really remember, like, from my very first year teaching, I never just taught in the classroom. I was doing after-school programs every year. Anytime there was able to do summer school, I was doing it. Any opportunity for me to make money, I was doing it as a teacher. Like, I was really exercising my ways to make money as a classroom teacher, okay? So, like, you probably are doing that right now. You probably are teaching and you have a side job. You probably are doing tutoring. You probably have a job at a restaurant. You probably do after school. You probably do summer school every single summer. You probably do before school. Even if you don't, there is some part of you that's on this podcast. So clearly, like, you are in desire of making more money. Okay, that's why you're listening to this. So either way, there are things that you are paying for. So it's like that's one thing. Okay. If you are someone who really sits there and continues to believe the thought of I don't have the money and I don't have the money to invest, that is your reason. Like, if money is the reason why you don't allow yourself or you're not able to do things, I want you to say that out loud. Money is the reason why I'm not allowed to do certain things. Money is the reason why I don't do certain things. Money is the reason why. And I want you to ask yourself, how many times do you want that to be true? How many times do you want to say you don't have the money? Okay. I want to really let that land first. How many times do you want to say, I don't have the money to live the life that I want to live? Okay. Going back to 57, my episode, Rich Teacher, Poor Teacher. A lot of us are walking around with low growth and low money making thoughts. And the truth of the matter is, you think like the salary that you make. So if you make $55,000, you think like someone who makes $55,000. So like the thoughts you think are someone who has $55,000, right? Like and I think I have every friend that I have does not make the money that I make. I have some people who will quite literally not even look at a certain plane ticket to go somewhere. Me, now that I have the money, to do what I want to do, I don't want to fly Frontier and Spirit if I don't have to. And this is not a thing to bash Frontier and Spirit at all. There are low budget, they're budget airlines. But like for me, like once I got a taste Delta, once I got a taste of the lounge, once I got a taste of comfort, first class, I'm just like, I like this. I like that. I like that. Now my goal is to not earn all my money and spend it. I still spend strategically. Just a couple weeks ago, I was at Spirit Frontier and I went to my concert. I was on because I was the only one. It was like $700 or $200. I was like, all right, girl, the $1 million a year ain't here yet. But the whole thing is like, you want to be able to, and you want to be looking at this as like, you want to zoom out and don't just look at the tree. Because right now, y'all look at the tree, y'all look at, oh, I don't have the money right now. I have bills. But it's like, the goal is for you to be able to have the money to always pay your bills. The goal is for you to be able to have the money to pay for your spending. The goal is for you to be able to have the money for the vacations. The goal is for you to, if that is your goal, then you need to go to your six-figure self. Your six-figure self does not think the same way that your $55,000 self thinks. Okay? Your teacher salary thoughts are not my six-figure thoughts. And in order for you to make six figures, you have to think different thoughts. Okay? Um, that's one thing. Now I want to give y'all actual 1, 2, 3 steps of what to do if you don't have the money to invest. Step 1, be creative and find it. That's step 1. Pull up, and I'm gonna give y'all tangible things. So like, I'm gonna talk to y'all through things that I've done personally, with my own bank account when I didn't have the money for things. My own clients that have worked with me who did not have the money. I'm gonna tell y'all what they have done to be creative. So there's 3 things. You're either gonna, number 1, be creative and find the money. Like you're gonna find the money. Like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna find it. Number 2, be willing to come up with the money. Or 3, stay broke. I'm gonna walk through each 3. You're either going to be creative, you're either going to be willing to come up with the money, or you're gonna stay broke. Those are the only 3 options that you choose. And I only stay broke because, again, anybody who, like, in the most loving way, you can be making more money with your experience. And that is what I do. That's what I teach. Okay. So that's number 1. Let's say that number 1, finding the money. Pull up your bank account and actually go see what you actually have. Because some of y'all do have savings. And some of y'all, I had to walk with my sister one time. My sister was like, oh my gosh, like, I need this money for this. I have a rainy day fund. And I was like, sis, it's raining. Like, if you are crying every day, if you are burnt out every day, if you really are in my comments saying, I'm desperate, I need help, I got what you need. I got what you need. And I want you to, number 1, just like know that the reason why, and I'm going to give you a framework that my money coach taught me that I'm going to teach you. Um, and if you all listen to my episode about retirement, it's Kira Nicholson. I love her. And there's 3 things that you want to really ask yourself when you're about to invest in something. So, like, I'm not just telling you to go empty out your bank account, but the thing is, this is not a expense. This is an investment. This is not a vacation that's not going to come back to us. Like, I know, I've invested in vacations and, at the end of it, I get the memories. Like, I don't get I can't claim that on my taxes. Like, my business trips I can, but I cannot claim my personal vacations on my taxes. You cannot claim your personal vacation on your taxes either. Okay. Your business can do different things. but you're not allowed to, I mean, you're not able to do that. Okay. Let me tell my friend I'm busy. Call you back. Hold on. See, even right now, I'm making money right now. Call you back. Call you back. Recording. All right. Sorry. So there's three things that I want you to be able to do when you pull up your accounts. Number one, know your numbers. Like, do you actually have the money physically in your account? Okay. Your bank account, credit cards, financing, etc. Like, do you have the money in your account? Like in another account, do you have the money? Yes or no? Okay. And if you do have, so now, and if you don't, we'll go to step two. But go to your accounts, like all your accounts. Because a lot of y'all do have saving funds, which that's y'all aren't touching. And if y'all don't have a savings fund, don't worry. Step two is coming out. But number one, look at your numbers. Do you have the money to do it? Okay. Payment plan, bullet handful, whatever. Do you have the money to do it? Then it's like know your impact. So like with you investing in this thing. So I'm talking about investing in your career. That's what I'm talking about. So with me, with another coach, whatever, do you have the money? And what is your impact? So like the goal for this is to be able to make more money. This is not a situation where you are paying money on a vacation and you won't get it back. This is not going to be, oh, memories. Oh, yeah, I remember that time I tried to leave education. No, this is for you to actually leave the classroom. Now, this is not to be confused with if you paid money for different things and you didn't get your ROI. Like if you paid for a resume, you paid for a course, you paid for something and you didn't get your result. That's a different thing. And that's like I teach this in my program, like how to get an ROI, because sometimes you all are consumers versus investors. Consumers are people who just pay and expect to get a job. The only place you can do that is if you do like one of those job placement services where you pay them money and then they place you, but you, like the ones where they'll train you for free, they will place you in a job and they take like 10% off the top. Like there are things that do that. So like that is an option. But like know your impact. Like when you are investing, just like the stock market, the only way for you to make money is investing. Like six-figure earners invest. So like if you are not trying to be a six-figure earner, then like this episode is not for you. Like this is for the six-figure earners who want to make six figures. You need to invest. Like that is how you make money. That's how you are able. Like the people who retire, like I'm retiring as a millionaire. Okay, my goal is to retire making $1 million a year, but like my goal is retiring with money, and I know that I have to invest. There is no customer service at the stock market. When you invest, you can't be like, "Hey, can you take my stocks out?" I heard no, like you just have to invest and believe that you're going to make the money back. So a part of belief, like when you invest, like what is your impact? The impact is I'm going to learn how to make money. Okay. And then there's priority, right? Are there other things you can pay for? So I know sometimes y'all have car payments that come up. Like for me, when I tell y'all, when I left that marriage, so many bills came up. I had to pay for a lawyer, I had to pay for another lawyer, pay for a surprise car payment that I had to start paying for. I had to pay for a lot of things, right? And a lot of things. However, my priority still at the time was to invest in my business. So like, even though my bills tripled times three, I still have the money to pay for a money coach. I know some of y'all are like, why are you paying for a money coach? Like that sounds redundant. Like you need to save money and do it yourself. That's a poor mindset. That's not a six-figure earner. Like, and there are broke six-figure earners who like make six figures that are not able, they still don't have breathing room. So from someone who has made more than that, who's making more than that, who's seen people make less, make more, like if you want to be able to like do what you want to do, you have to figure out what your priority is. So like I still invested. Right? I still had to pay for those things, but like I got creative. So like there's actual bank account and then there's credit cards, financing, loans. Y'all, if it were not, this is however people hear it, I don't care. I have maxed out my credit cards to get out of my marriage and to invest in my business. Okay. I've been able to pay them back and I'm still paying them back and I will pay them back. But like, I'm not afraid to swipe my credit card to invest in something. Okay. Now I was swiping credit card for fun things, but like I found credit cards and I used those cards. Like, my very first business investment, I used my credit card. My very first, like my money coach, my first payment with her was my credit card. Now, I've gotten to a point where I don't use my credit cards anymore. Like that was like the healing work I got with my money coach. But like I don't use my credit cards anymore. They're still there, but I don't depend on them. But like I did use it. What did I use it for? If I need to use my credit card, I will use. That's what it's for. But I don't swipe it every day and max out my credit cards and I have the money to pay for it. Like, I have the money to pay for my credit cards and I'm paying off my credit cards. But some of y'all are afraid to use credit cards. But like if the goal is to make more money back, you pay it back. I've quite literally done that. I've used a credit card and I pay it back. Now, some credit cards I'm paying. I'm doing a minimum payment right now, and I'm doing my waterfall debt. But like, I'm not afraid to say that I've used my credit cards. Okay, for my lawyer, I definitely use my credit card. A lot of us are afraid to use our credit. We will use credit cards for other things. We'll use a credit card. We'll use the financing for a cruise. I know for Carnival and Virgin, they have payment plans, and I still use the payment plans, y'all. Okay, I just started not do interest, but like credit cards. So like, oh, I don't have the money. Where's the credit card? That's an option. Loans. Like I've done this different times. Like I have gotten creative. If I did not have the money physically in my account and I knew I wanted to do something, I was willing to go use a credit card. Okay. Another thing that you can also do, your parents or your partner. And I'm gonna say this the most loving way possible. Parents are one thing. If you have your parents, again, my mom is not alive. But my daddy, Mitch, Mitch, if I really, 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 really need something, I will go ask him for some money. I will. And even if I don't need something, I'm gonna ask my daddy for some money. I'm gonna ask. Parents or partner. If you really don't have the money and you don't want to use a credit card, again, usually whenever you don't have something that you want, you're not willing to let something go. Because some of y'all are like, oh, I don't touch my credit cards. And it's like, okay, but you still making $55,000 a year? You still living paycheck to paycheck? Oh, but you don't use your credit cards. Oh, congratulations, you didn't use your credit cards. Congratulations, you did not use your credit cards. You know what I mean? Like, what are you winning? And again, this is not to make fun of anybody. I'm just like in my last episode, my goal is to give y'all the honest truth. And y'all ask me, how do you expect? I don't expect y'all to do anything. I'm just teaching you how to invest in your career. Okay, your partner. This is gonna hurt feelings. If you have a husband or partner, okay, there's one thing. Like, if y'all money is intermingled, I'm not trying to make y'all money y'all's business, but I'm just saying, like, if you are someone who believes, especially if you're someone where like, oh, I really know, I believe you, but I got to ask permission. I have to ask my husband. I have to ask my wife. It's okay for you to ask like the money situation, but like permission to see if you're able to do it. Because I had one person, like this is over my years of working. Someone's like, oh, my husband doesn't trust me because last time I didn't do it. Or, I have to ask permission. I have to see if she like, but I'm like, this is your career. Did you ask permission to get your degree? That's one thing. I want you to like be okay with asking for support from your partner, from your parents, and especially if the goal is to make the money back. And again, that goes back to self-trust. I do have an episode one before about truths you need to hear. And sometimes we don't trust ourselves. Maybe we don't trust ourselves to ask. Some of y'all, oh, I don't want to ask. Again, for me, I get everything I want because I'm willing to look at my bank account. I'm willing to use a credit card if I need to. I'm willing to ask. So that's one way. So if you really want to know how to live, that's I give you 3 ways in one. Be creative and find the money. Be creative and find the money. I did not plan on spending $15,000 on my creative director. I did not plan on spending thousands of dollars on my outfits. I did not plan on spending all of that. Okay. However, my goal is million. So because I'm thinking as $1 million earner, I don't think like the salary that I currently make. Even though I make more money than I did before, I am working for my millionaire version of myself. So for you as a teacher, if you're working on your 6-figure version of yourself, even if it's not 6 figures, if you're trying to make 80K, 90K, you need to ask yourself, what does that version of me spend my money on? Because the thing is, in corporate, people invest money, $1,000 on things all the time. Like that's the thing. I know teachers don't know that. And that's why I want to do this episode. As a teacher girly who was a teacher who is in corporate, this is what they're doing. My 6-figure friends, they invest in different ways. Now, again, I do have people who make six figures who are not living the same life as me. Okay. I invest differently. Like I literally do manage my money effectively. I invested in a money coach to help me be able to have breathing room with all my money. I invested in a money coach to know how my debt's being paid off. I invested in a money coach to know how to manage my money and not overspend. Okay. I invest all the things I've ever invested in. I've gotten a return on my investment because I knew that they'd be able to help me. So therefore, I was creative in finding the money. Could I have sat there and said, "Oh, I don't have 15K?" Yeah, I could do that. I could. You could say, "I don't have the money," and leave it at that. But then I want you to say out loud, "I'm choosing my old life over my current one." And that's okay. If your priority is to stay what you're doing, that is that thought. Okay. Now, the second thing, if you absolutely do not have the money and you have no financing, you have nobody, no parents, then you have to be willing to come up with the money. Like, ask yourself, what can I do? Because the third option is stay broke. And I know y'all don't want to stay broke. Okay. And actually, let's go there. If you are someone who's like, no, I don't have the money, I'm not listening to her, blah, 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 let's go to the stay broke option. If you're making under 100K, so again, if you're listening to this podcast, you are a burnt out teacher and you want to make more money. Okay. You're not making the money that you want to make. So if you're not, I don't, and quite frankly, y'all, I don't listen to people who don't make the money that I want to make the way that I want to make it. I don't. I don't listen to anybody for free. I don't. The podcasts I listen to, I only listen to podcasts where they make the money that I want to make the way that I want to make it. I don't listen to, well, I don't listen to men podcasts. One. Unless it's like, actually, do I listen to anybody? I don't. I like Richard Brunson, but I quite literally do not listen to anybody for free. The only people I listen to make the amount of money that I want to make the way that I want to make it. That's one thing. But like the opposite of you not being creative to find the money is staying broke. Staying, making the same amount you want to make. So if someone is in your ear telling you, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, how much money do they make? And are they making the amount of money that you want to make it? And are they helping you make the money? Are they helping you make the amount of money that you want to make the way that you want to make it? Let me slow down. I don't recommend you listen to anybody who does not make the amount of money that you want to make the way that you want to make it. And if anybody is telling you what you should or should not spend money on, I need you to see and look at them. Are they making the amount of money that you want to make the way that you want to make it? And if not, go find someone who is making the money that you want to make the way you want to make it and listen to them. You are the company you keep. The people you hang around, you do start to think and act like the people that you are around. Okay? That's why I keep millionaires in my circle. No, by the time this episode is up, but like I'm going to an event called Millionaires of Color. Guess who I'm about to be around? Millionaires of color. Women, millionaires of color. Okay. I want to rub shoulders with the millionaires because I am a millionaire. So I love being around rich people. You need richer friends. Let me be your rich friend. But you need richer friends. Because if not, you stay making the amount of money that you want to make. Okay. So when you are staying broke, you're keeping your salary, you're keeping your struggle. You will kind of like an abusive relationship. You're going to have temporary good feelings and then time's going to be gone. You cannot get time back. You can get money back, but you cannot get time back. Let's say you do invest something. Every investment I have made, I have not always, well, I'm not into you. I do make it a point. It's only because I took a class called ROI where I learned how to make my money back in all my investments. So maybe there are some investments I won't invest in again, but like I always make my money back because like it's a no-brainer. I'm an investor. I'm not a consumer. Like I consume like Chipotle and Chick-fil-A. I know that eating Chick-fil-A is not gonna help me make money, but I still spend that money. I still spend it. I know that going on a cruise is not gonna help me make more money. Now, for me, I do create content and it does help me make more money because I'm resting. But either way, like consumer versus investor. Okay. So you can make more money. So staying broke is the other option. The other one is be willing to come up with the money. And I'm gonna walk you through this. I want you to ask yourself, what can I do? Some of y'all do have businesses. Some of y'all can work after school. Okay. And more importantly, who do you need to become to make this money? Who do you need to become to make this money? because it may not be your current self. The poor mindset may not be able to help you generate thousands of dollars. Who do you need to be able to get creative to find money? And then I want you to also ask yourself, why do I want to come up with this money? Like, why do I want to come up with this money? Why do I want to come up with this money? Who do I become when I come up with this money to invest in my new career? Maybe become someone who is resourceful. Maybe you become someone who's not afraid to ask for help. Maybe you become someone who is creative. Like, hey, I am able to sell a couple things in my business. Maybe I am going to work these after school hours. Maybe I am going to do this so that I can invest in my career that's going to make me more money. And another question I want you to ask yourself is, why is it important for me to come up with the money now and not later? Why is it urgent? Because another thing, y'all, for the people who are not paying for things to get them what they want, it's not that bad of a problem. It's not that urgent of a problem, right? For example, like I want to get a patio on my house. I really want a patio, but it's not an urgent problem for me. Like, I can just stay outside. I can go outside when it's cool. It's not an urgent problem for me. Okay, now, do I really want a patio? Yes. I really, really want a patio, but it's not urgent. So I'm not paying for it right now. Okay. And I've already asked Mitch, my dad, like, hey, you want to pay for this patio? But like, I have other things that I'd rather not pay for. So, like, in the honest truth, if you are not coming up with the money, it's not that painful of a problem for you. Like, and I want you to tell yourself out loud, it's not that painful. And if it is painful, then again, you're going to be creative and find the money, or you're going to be willing to come up with the money. Even if it takes you a little bit longer than you planned, who needs to show up to be able to get you the money that you want? And I also like, allow yourself to go to your six-figure self. However much money you want to make. Would she spend thousands of dollars on a career that's going to help her make more money? Because she does. She does. Okay. When I started my business, I didn't know I would be investing all this, but I've invested, y'all, less money in my business than I have on my degrees. And I've made so much more money. Me investing in my business last year made $250,000. Now, if I would have said, oh no, I don't need a money coach. I don't need a business coach. I'm going to DIY, me and chat. Yeah, me and chat. So a lot of y'all be having chat come up with plans, but y'all don't implement your plan. Right? You don't actually aren't implementing your plan. So at the end of the day, y'all, it's either you transition out of the classroom or you don't. Anything in the middle is fluff. Anything in the middle is just talking. If you want to be able to make the money that you want to make, you have to become the version of yourself that makes the money. Okay? That's what you need. And I want to kind of show y'all a couple of things. Like, I've had clients have no laptop. I've had clients who had 5 kids. I've had clients who were single moms. I've had clients who were unemployed, laid off. I've had clients that did not have the money and needed a job urgently, still find ways to make the money. Some of them more creative. I have clients who literally have their parents paying for this program. Like, quite literally, they have their parents paying for the program, parents doing the financing. Okay? Like, again, a lot of y'all have this victim mindset in a loving way possible. And I'm not calling you a victim, but it is a mindset. You all are, you have it rehearsed. Oh, I don't have the money. Money is tight. I don't like, how does it sound for you to say that story out loud? To become the 6-figure version of yourself, you will require you to be resourceful. Okay? Or require to be resourceful. But I've had people in these exact situations be creative. They found the money. They put it on their credit card. They got a loan. They do the payment plans. They got financing. I do have financing. I have financing options. Payment plans. Or they were willing to come up with the money. They were willing to come up with the money. Someone got part-time jobs. And again, I had one person who literally had 3 jobs, and I helped her get a job in less than 2 months, and it replaced her paycheck for all those jobs. I had someone who had no laptop be able to get a job to get her own personal laptop. And people who have twins, 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids, have the money, even if it's a payment plan. Okay, I still do payment plans. And to let y'all know how I afford or pay for my investments, I still use a payment plan. However you want to call it, the payment plan. When, the millionaire version of me still wants to use a payment plan. I don't need, I like cash flow. I like to have money coming in and be able to have money coming out in a way that's not going to have my bank account upside down. Okay, I've had people who are single moms use this as the reason why they invest. I've had people who are unemployed and laid off. I told y'all, I don't know if I told you in this episode, but my sister, again, I'm telling her business because she said, I told her I'm going to tell her business. She got laid off from her job. She works in corporate. She was a teacher too, working corporate. She got laid off. And by that Monday, so she got fired up Friday, Monday, she had 2 interviews. By the next Friday, she has a job offer and she's doing more. And now she's at the point where she's like, I don't ever want to get laid off again. She's like, one, she knows how to get on the job, but two, she's starting her business. So that's another conversation I won't get into. You really want to, have ways to always make money. But I had a client who also just did not have the money and they needed a job urgently. Like, oh, I need a job tomorrow. They came back to me. Like, I have some people who are like, okay, I will come back next month when I get my paid. I'm doing it. And they said, and I have one client say, when that money left my account, she's like, when that money left my account, that payment plan, I was like, oh, I'm getting this done. I'm getting this done. So I invite you to, again, ask yourself, who needs to show up to invest in your new career that's going to get you the money on your teacher salary? Instead of you allowing, because again, I really want to end the narrative of teachers call themselves broke, because people call teachers broke and y'all keep letting people call y'all broke and y'all say it out loud. I've never been a broke teacher. Even if my salary is $40,000, I was never broke. I was never broke. I would never let anyone call me broke. I would never want to call myself broke. I don't even joke about being broke. Even if even if I got to a point where I had money in my, like, $100 in my bank account, $200 in my bank account, I'm not broke. I'm not broke. Because believe me, I know how to make money. And that's the beautiful part about you going into a 6-figure career is you will always know how to land a 6-figure job. You will never be stuck in an underpaid career again. Okay, you won't. You won't. I know this is hard to hear and it could feel like challenging for some people. I mean, I've read you for felt again, but y'all like it. And I wish that someone gave me this conversation when I was younger. Because I have clients who are making 6 figures before they're 30. So if you're someone who is young, under 30, and you want to make 6 figures, if you are someone who does not make 6 figures, if you're someone who makes 6 figures in education, but you don't like it, I invite you to work with me. I invite you to become the version of yourself who's able to invest in the career that you want, not that you have. You want to make 6 figures? I invite you to become the 6-figure version of yourself. Okay? Now, I know some people are going to come, oh, girl, you don't know. You don't know. I do know. Even though I am not on a teacher salary anymore, when I tell y'all my bills tripled times 3, I didn't have that salary coming in. But what I did, I became the version of myself that made that money. Was it hard? Did I cry? Yes. I was hollering. I was in a sunken place. But I did it. And I know that you can do it too. Because the thing is, y'all, teaching is harder. You already doing hard things every day. It's time for you to get paid for it. It's time for you to get paid for it. I want you to really close your eyes and imagine that you're making the money that you want to make. 6 figures. What are you doing with that money besides the bills? What are you spending your money on now? Envision yourself of not in the classroom. You're working from home. Maybe you are in person, wherever your dream job. What vacation are you taking? Are you buying new clothes? Are you upping up your meal service? What are you doing with that money? I want you to really envision yourself of where you want to be. And then I want you to envision another version of yourself who's sitting in a corner like, oh, just looking. And I want you to go to yourself and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. I know it feels hard. I know like looking at it, it seems impossible, but it's possible. We can do this. We do hard things every day. And you're so much happier. You're going to suffer a little bit because it's challenging, but you can do hard things. You help people do hard things every day, and you're worthy of doing this hard thing that's gonna get you the money that you wanna make, okay? Alright, y'all, I hope this was helpful. I want you making more money. I want you to believe that you're capable of trusting yourself and believing in yourself to make your money back. Because as a six-figure earner, this will not be the last time that you invest in yourself, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're someone who wants to make over $100,000. Scared money don't make no money. You actually don't. And again, which version of yourself, who needs to show up to get the result that you want? Journal it out. Who needs to show up? What version of yourself needs to show up? Because the version of yourself that's feeling sorry for yourself, the version of yourself that's saying that you don't have the money is not the version of yourself that gets you the six-figure job. What version of yourself is capable of being resourceful to make the money that you want to make? I believe in you. I trust you. I trust that you can believe in yourself. I trust you can find self trust. And I want to remind you again, your teaching experience, your teaching degrees were not wasted. It's not a limitation, it is your superpower. And I invite you to allow yourself to be capable of making six figures year after year. All right, y'all. Sign off, your pretty rich friend, your six-figure mentor, your pretty rich teacher friend. Let me be your rich friend so that you can be rich too. All right, I'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.